Hey yo everybody, as we know, a few days ago now, the brand new Planet Zoo Twilight Pack was announced, and now that some time has passed, I want to go ahead and do a bit of a follow-up to the pack's announcement and just kind of share my thoughts again on the pack, briefly, because the big reason why this video is here is because I want to go ahead and talk about what exactly this new Twilight Pack suggests about the future of Planet Zoo. You know, this is a very interesting DLC, as we know. It's a very out-of-place DLC, and I think it does suggest a lot about what exactly they plan to do with the future of the game. But before we get into that, again, I want to just do a small follow-up to the pack and just kind of share my thoughts again. I will say that I think the biggest reason why I didn't connect with this pack right away, not only because I wasn't expecting a scenery pack, but I think it's largely because, you know, it is clearly Halloween themed, even though it's funny, Frontier never explicitly says it's Halloween, but it clearly is, or I should say has Halloween influence in it. So I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween. I think that's pretty much the biggest reason why I didn't connect with it right away. But while I may not be the biggest fan of Halloween, that doesn't mean that it's still not a great pack. A lot of people love spooky scenery and Halloween architecture, and so for a lot of people this is a great pack. And I think I've come to realize that there's a lot of creative builders out there that are going to love this pack. It's perfect for them because sometimes people just want to sit down, play Planet Zoo, and build whatever the hell they want, just straight up. Most people actually don't build realistic. Most people just love to build fun things in this game, and this pack is perfect for that. So I think once you realize that, you come to appreciate it a lot more. Because then besides the still very cool scenery, even if maybe not useful for everyone, once you get past that, you still have a very cool set of new animals. You know, as I've thought more about it, I realize I am excited for animals like raccoons and skunks, and even the red fox I'm kind of getting more excited for. I think it's a solid set of animals, and I do think that, you know, while it may not be the best pack they've ever made, it's a solid addition as it sets us up for the last pack of the year, and I will talk later in the video about what exactly that last pack could be. But I think for now, the Twilight Pack is a good 11th pack, a good midway pack for the year. I mean, it's not in the middle, but it's a good stepping stone for the last pack of the year. I think the Twilight Pack is actually going to be a very solid addition. I think people will enjoy it. So yeah, I just want to make it clear, I'm more excited for it now. But let's get past that now and just talk about what exactly the pack as a whole has to offer for the future of Planet Zoo. What exactly does Frontier plan to do with a pack that is so different, right? Well, let's go ahead and start by talking about how exactly this pack is different, right? Well, I've been thinking about how exactly you're going to define the Twilight Pack. As far as how I would define it, I would say the Twilight Pack is basically a crepuscular themed scenery pack with Halloween inspired or styled scenery. That's pretty much what exactly it is. And it's just such an out of nowhere setup for a pack. No one really thought about this. And that just shows how original Frontier is trying to go. But you know, this right here I think is a sign as to what exactly Frontier wants to do with the game in regards to DLCs. They want to continue to look for essentially out of nowhere packs. They clearly enjoy surprising us. And that pretty much leads us to our first big question that goes back to how exactly, you know, all this affects the future of the game. And that first big question is, what exactly are they doing with animal packs now, right? Because we were all expecting, an animal pack instead of a scenery pack. Well, the answer is pretty simple. Just because, you know, we got a scenery pack over an animal pack doesn't mean they're done with them. I think it's pretty obvious that they like to do both animal and scenery packs, and I still think every year we're going to get 2 of each, right? 2 animal packs, 2 scenery packs. It's a great formula. It's just clearly they want to shake up the pattern, and I think the biggest reason why is because they're gonna look for more scenery packs to make. Scenery packs are kind of trickier to make, I believe, versus animal packs, because you have to take a theme and essentially make scenery out of it, and sometimes that can be kind of abstract. That's what they did with the conservation pack. I think of also the aquatic pack. Two good examples of a pack where they took a theme, an abstract theme, and make scenery out of it. So I'm sure they were thinking, how can we get more scenery this year? And they probably realized Halloween is a great way to do that. Through Halloween, you get more scenery, and it still works. People will still enjoy it. So, and they know, you know, originally or traditionally when Planet Zoo started getting DLCs, it was originally scenery pack every time, right? Every pack was a scenery pack, so it's not like scenery packs can't work together back to back. I don't think animal packs could personally work back to back. I don't think that's something they'd ever do, because you get animals in every pack, but you don't get scenery in every pack. So you need scenery at least every other pack or every pack. I don't think they'll ever do animal packs back to back. But basically the big answer here is that we should get our second animal pack at the end of the year. I mean, really, all they did was just swap around the last scenery pack for the year and the last animal pack, and that is what we're dealing with. So I would fully expect the 12th pack to be an animal pack now, and as far as what that is very much in the air now. I still want to believe they are going to do environmental themed animal packs. We have yet to see whether they want to go with the wetlands anymore and kind of make more environment themed packs, but I think that's what they're going to do. But as far as what we think right now, it could be anything. Could honestly be anything. They could do any sort of animal pack. The big one right now is an aviary animal pack. Of course, people really want birds, free-flying birds, and that pretty much leads us right into our next big question. And of course, that next big question is, what exactly do the new bats and walkthrough exhibits suggest about the future of Planet Zoo? Well, the big consensus that I'm seeing right now from a lot of the people in the community is that these new bats and these new walkthrough exhibits are like 100% confirmation that we're going to get aviaries and free-flying birds at some point. And while I'm not saying that's impossible, I do want to go ahead and throw some salt into the discussion, because I do think we need that. I think people need to recognize that while yes, the bats and the new walkthrough exhibits are really cool and could absolutely be a step towards, proper free-flying birds and aviaries in Planet Zoo, I don't want people to think that like this automatically makes the next pack like a big aviary pack, because every time a new DLC comes around, of course, people have been have really been convincing themselves that Frontier is about to do aviaries. I don't want to say birds, because the game does have birds, but aviaries specifically. And so far it's always turned out to not be that. So again, I do think that bats could be a sign of them wanting to try that, or essentially just testing the waters right now with some free-flying mechanics. And not free-flying, let's be clear here. The bats are not going to be free-flying, they are in an exhibit. It's most certainly going to be looped animations, and that's okay. At this point, anything flying in the game is going to be exciting right now, so I'm looking forward to these new exhibits. They are big, by the way, in case you guys don't know. It's 20 meters long, 12 meters wide, and 8 meters high. It's essentially a big box, a big cave box with bats flying around on a loop, and that is really cool. It definitely is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that birds are going to happen for sure, nor does it mean the birds are going to be exactly like that. Again, I think this is Frontier simply testing the waters and wanting to see how both flying animals are essentially looking and acting in the game, even just in the form of exhibit animals, and also how people react to them. I think is a part of their experiment, you could say, and putting bats into the game. I'm gonna make a whole video about how exactly I think these new walkthrough exhibits will lead to aviaries. I do think it's very possible that down the line now we are going to get aviaries, and I'm very excited for that, but I just want people to recognize it's not going to happen right away. Nor do I have time in this whole video to explain why or how I think aviaries will come from this, which again is why I'm going to make a whole separate video, but I just want to simply talk about how bats do suggest a somewhat more positive future for birds or aviaries in general, but it should all be taken with a huge grain of salt. It doesn't necessarily mean anything at the end of the day. We just have to see where Frontier goes from here with flying animals. I really, really do hope that even if we don't ever get birds, I hope we get more essentially exhibit animals in this kind of fashion and walkthrough exhibits. I hope we can get more bats and maybe even other flying animals that can work in a like a loop system. So not exactly maybe birds, but maybe other things like butterflies. You could do a lot with these new walkthrough exhibits, and I'm very excited to see what they do. I think the fact that they put them in the update definitely means they plan to do more with these walkthrough exhibits. But again, the walkthrough exhibits don't necessarily have to be aviaries. I think they might want to do something different, or maybe Maybe they will be aviaries, who knows, but I'm just putting some salt in the discussion because I think we need a balance in decision, or sorry, a balance in discussion. I just don't want to see people get overly hyped for something that might not be coming, but that could simply just be a cool new feature, that being walkthrough exhibits. It could just be one cool new thing that they do and maybe never touch again. I'm just saying. Time will tell. Yeah, I want to go ahead and move on to my last big question that stems from this new pack. And that final question is all about theming. I want to go ahead and talk about how, well, so far this year, Frontier have basically introduced us to 3 whole new categories of theming. Wetlands being what is basically environmental theming, conservation, which I would define as a miscellaneous theme, a very abstract theme, and then Twilight, which, depending on how you look at it, could mean different things, but in this case, it really does mean a crepuscular time of day. I mean, from that stemmed the whole Halloween, we're getting Halloween scenery and a bunch of woodland critters, but really it's all about dawn and dusk. That is pretty much what Twilight, the title of the pack, is suggesting. This is a crepuscular themed scenery pack, right? Not even going to call it a Halloween scenery pack, even though that is what it is, but the title says Twilight, which makes it crepuscular themed, a time of the day. So we have 3 whole brand new kinds of themes. And so my question is, are they going to continue to just find random themes, or are they going to expand off of these like they did with the whole geographical theming, right? Because like for 2 years straight, we got geographical theming, and it ranged from continents to regions, like, continents like, of course, South America and Australia, and then you got regions like the Arctic and Southeast Asia. So clearly there's branches to these themings, but so far this year it's been completely fresh and brand new, and I'm just very curious to see where they go from here. If I had to guess, I really think that the next pack, which again I think is going to be an animal pack, will finally be a follow-up to the environments. I really do think the next animal pack is going to be, I mean, who knows what kind of environment at this point, but some other kind of environment. I kind of hope it is, honestly, just to balance it out, just to make environments as a proper theme now. I want to just see more of each so that we know for sure that environments are a way they're going. Same thing with miscellaneous theming like conservation, which is why I hope at some point we can get something that is miscellaneous like that. Like I think of petting zoos. Like a petting zoo pack is miscellaneous. You can go about it in many different ways. It's very abstract. And then something like a Twilight theme, being again time of the day, I really hope now that a nocturnal pack does happen, because that would really help balance out the fact that they wanted to do a time of day kind of pack. One of them being crepuscular themed, another one being essentially just nighttime themed, full on nighttime. You could call it a nocturnal pack, maybe just a midnight pack, but I want them to just take these new, essentially seeds of themes, basically new themes, and just expand off of that. That is what I hope to see, and I think we will. I don't think they're gonna like just completely abandon the idea of what environments or time of the day, or even just again miscellaneous. I don't think they're gonna continue just randomly find different themes to make packs now, like anything. I mean, they could honestly do like a small animal pack or something, something different. Like suddenly then they're on to like size of animals kind of theming, and like they could go anywhere, but I really do hope they find some consistency. It's a weird thing to ask for, because again, for 2 years straight they were staying very consistent, and there was almost no surprise. For real, it was all, we could kind of see where they were going from region to region. So I think they're really, really trying to not be like that anymore by now switching up the pattern of animal and scenery packs and finding completely new kinds of themes. But I do hope there is some consistency in the mix. I do want to see more environmental themed packs. I do want to see more time of the day themed packs. I would love to have, like, again, a nocturnal pack. So I just want to talk about that and just emphasize that the Twilight Pack, as much as it might seem like a completely random theme, it really could just be the start of something that they want to do more of down the line, which in this case would be time of the day. I hope all these random packs this year are there for a reason. I hope they're not just 100% purely random and with no guide to them for the future of the game. I do think Frontier has a plan with this game, and I can't wait to see it. I do believe also that the game is I feel very confident in saying that the game is going to get another year of content. It seems pretty obvious now. As much that the recent year report definitely suggests that, but it's not confirmation or anything. We'll have to wait and see if they really plan to keep going next year, because we're in like, what, I think was it FY23 or something, and that's still the time, that's still the end of this year, so they could stop then, but I wouldn't count on it. I do believe they're going to keep going, and I am excited for whatever they want to do. I'm going to end this off by saying how I would go about the future of Planet Zoo's DLCs if I was Frontier. If I was Frontier, here is what I would do. The 12th pack, some sort of environmental themed animal pack, preferably something like forests or woodlands. Springtime, which would I think now springtime we're gonna get a scenery pack, because I don't think they're gonna go from animal pack to animal pack. So next spring we get a scenery pack, and at that point I'm gonna go ahead and just say I'd love to see finally an aviary pack. Let's just say they finally do an aviary scenery pack. Then come summertime we get an animal pack. I would do deserts. Fall time, essentially a year from now, do another time of the day themed pack, being nocturnal. I would do like a nocturnal pack, and then end the year with another environmental themed pack. That's how I would go about it if I was Frontier, but then again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So guys, please let me know what you think about all of this. I'm trying to answer some big questions that this pack has created. I'm trying to make those questions obvious, and so that we know what to ask ourselves as they continue going with this game. But yeah, again, let me know what you think about it, everything that I've said, what you would like to see from them, and we'll all find out together. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.